Welcome to this episode of Inside Fort Worth Business, Fort Worth's only video business magazine focused on telling the stories of entrepreneurs, small business, and sole proprietors. We have another great show lined up for you focused on the entrepreneur spirit and protecting yourself. Ed Riefenstahl from the TCU MBA School is here to share his expertise with us. He's had an amazing career with us, doing a lot of different things. He's the managing director for ROI & Associates, a firm he co-founded with his wife of 38 years. He's done lots of different things, including launching the world's first winery at an airport. He serves as chairman of the board of the Fort Worth Business Assistance Education Foundation, and he's here to talk about the Business Education Foundation and launching of the development around the IdeaWorks and the Small Business Incubator. I also have Natalie Pinnell, who's a womanpreneur, if you will. And what woman doesn't dream of having her own business with her husband? And she has Let Us Cook. And she's going to talk about the challenges of living that each and every day. She's been very, very successful. They've been covered by every magazine in the city, and they're on the front page of the CBB. I have Dr. Raquel Fisher with us today, who's going to talk to us about cybersecurity and what risk you're at. She's a woman entrepreneur also, and she's going to talk to us about the challenges of mobile and how that all works and how we really are at risk each and every day. You're live on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitter, and I would encourage you to follow us. We are Fort Worth's only video magazine, business magazine, focused on the faces and personalities and telling these stories each and every week. And I'm thrilled you're with us to tell these stories. I'm really excited about our first guest who's with us, who has a fascinating background, who's going to share that with us. Ed Riefenstahl. Ed, thank you for being with us on the show.
Oh, Chris, pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Great. Tell us, rather than me trying to kind of go into your background, how long have you been at TCU?
11 and a half years. 11 and a half years. Came from industry, came from the small business and industry both.
And over there, you were heading up the Neely & Associates consulting program. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was a pretty unique program. It is for the full-time MBAs in the Neely School of Business, and they get to work on projects for fee-paying clients. But what's unique about it is not just that. What's unique about it is that behind each of those teams is a professor, a subject matter expert who's paid for his or her background. We have a advisory board of consultants from major and small boutique firms, and they really work with the students on scoping projects and basically how to work well with clients, which people in business, small or large, will work with all their life, internal clients, external clients. And then the third part of it was we have people from the local business community come and sit on external review panels 3 weeks before the team delivers its final deliverable. And we're talking about not just deliverables to small business or nonprofits, but also to some of the major organizations here in Fort Worth and in North Texas. So each team has behind them a faculty paid subject matter expert, a professional consultant giving them guidance on how to work with clients and scope projects, and thirdly, feedback from business professionals and executives as to what to take of all of this and really deliver an impactful plan of action based on their recommendations. So really something special. It's been in existence now in its 11th year.
Wow. Okay, so that's what you do at the university.
Yeah, that, and then also, if I may, last night we just completed our 3rd annual PepsiCo MBA Invitational Case Competition.
Wow.
Where we had MBA students from 14 different MBA programs, top programs from all across the United States. But what was unique about this, we just wrapped up last night at Joe T. Garcia's with the award ceremony. Unique about this is the students do not know who their teammates are until they arrive. They come here, they find out, we mix them up, and then they have 5 to 6 hours to work on something relevant to PepsiCo. So I can't tell you the products, but it was a mixture of, it was around e-commerce, and it was a mixture of a snack product, with a beverage product, and they delivered these 8 teams of 4, delivered their results, and I think once again PepsiCo and Frito-Lay have something to look at that either validates what they were looking at or got some new ideas out of it. So great program that kind of fits into that experiential learning bucket.
Wow. Where did you get that kind of this whole, where did you become an entrepreneur? Is that from your father, from your...
Yeah, combination. It was my father who always had the instinct, but my mother said, no, we got to, let's hold back. But my Uncle George, he went out on his own and started a very successful pressure-sensitive label like pharmaceutical products. And anyway, when I went to business school back many years ago, it was all corporate and nothing entrepreneurial at that time. So I kind of got a bit derailed and kind of went into the corporate sector for a while, but always had sort of that entrepreneurial desire or passion in me.
Yeah.
And led my wife of 38 years and I to actually take leaves of absences from our corporate jobs many years ago and do some volunteer work with the Peace Corps, but it was in the entrepreneurial area, working with entrepreneurs at that time in the Dominican Republic. Came back from that, and actually, here in Fort Worth, we have a few business incubators. One of them is IdeaWorks, the other is Tech Fort Worth. But when ROI Associates was formed back in 91, 92, have to look at the exact date, we actually went to, not too many people know this, we delivered alternative scenarios for the city of Fort Worth, for the chamber, to look at having business incubators be here in Fort Worth. Actually, I remember to this day going in front of I guess the Economic Development Committee of the chamber. I think Bill Thornton was chairing it. Probably Bill doesn't remember this, but we laid out a series of different alternatives. They then kind of looked at it. They got Coopers and Lybrand involved afterwards, and of course Coopers and Lybrand had the bigger brand than ROI Associates. And the next thing we know, we have what was the predecessor of what is now Tech Fort Worth here in the city. So while working on ROI Associates, I met, I had this idea. I had a client that was working to start entrepreneurial, a winery at Grapevine, up in Grapevine, as Grapevine was trying to be the center of the burgeoning Texas wine industry. At that time, there were 28 Texas wineries in the state of Texas. And anyway, one thing led to another. That idea of having this French chateau of the people in Grapevine never got off the ground because one of the partners did something they shouldn't have done. So, but from that came the idea of, wait, this is a unique law for the city of Grapevine that basically said any winery that locates itself in a city such as, didn't say Grapevine, but any winery that locates itself in a city that has, its geography falls within 3 counties. In one of those counties is another city of a population over 500,000. And in that said city, there happens to be an international airport. Any winery that locates itself in such a city can have a winery that can sell wine for both on-premise and off-premise consumption. So fast forward, all the terminals in DFW Airport are in the city limits of Grapevine. So the idea was, let's start a winery that's focused on the Texas wine industry. So one day, sister cities here in Fort Worth, they called up and said, Ed, I was on the Budapest committee, and they said, Ed, you live out by DFW, don't you? Yeah, I do. Well, we have an opera singer from Budapest here who's trying out with the Dallas Opera, and then she's going to fly down to Houston the next day. Would you mind putting her up for the night? I said, no, great, the kids will love it. We had the opera singer, spent the night, took her to the airport. Of course, you could walk up to the gates those days. Said goodbye. I walked into this newsstand, and I said, because a friend told me at the Airport Rotary Club, said, Ed, you need to really align yourself or the people you're working with an existing concessionaire. So I walked into the newsstand. I said, who owns this newsstand? And they said, well, Victor Puente. And I said, okay, well, fine. And I said, well, do you think Victor would be interested in the idea of having maybe the world's first winery at an airport? And the person behind the counter said, well, I don't know about Victor, but I think his daughter Gina might like that. Anyway, fast forward, it all came together. We had a wonderful grand opening at DFW. Rick Perry was there. He was Secretary of Agriculture back then. And anyway, it was not only probably the world's first winery, may have been, well, the world's only or smallest winery. The actual, I mean, it gets into all these regulations, but we had to educate, because of this law, the Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission, because they're going, what? Then we had to go through the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco. Anyway, it talks about passion. That's what it was all about.
And what's IdeaWorks doing today?
IdeaWorks today, it currently is a multi-industry incubator focused on what is called Stage 1 businesses that are startups that have some revenues, but they want to grow. Okay. But IdeaWorks is maybe looking at some changes.
Okay.
And that gets back to the Back Education Foundation. Now, okay. How much time do I have? I want to be very focused.
Where can we find you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I guess my focus time is over. Well, you're going to have to ask me back, maybe. You could find me on LinkedIn, or probably just go to LinkedIn, and that probably has my other email.
And where can we learn more about that?
You can go to two areas: IdeaWorksFW.org,
great,
and then BACFW.com.
Great. And we're going to have Ed on the Chris Quinn Show to talk more about Back and kind of turn more all about this.
Yeah, we didn't have enough time to do justice to
went off on this whole story.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean,
you're a great storyteller. You go off on this. Thank you for being here.
Sorry, I didn't follow the script.
Right, that's right.
Take care.
Hey, we are pushing off. We're pushing off to meet the River District. Hey, we've got great things going on down there. And that leads to my next guest, who is Natalie Pinnell. And there's so many cool things going on in the River District. Where am I? I'm all over the place, right, guys? Hey, Natalie, who doesn't dream of having their own business, right? With your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife or whomever that may be. And I think that, but there's pitfalls of that, right? And as a woman entrepreneur, Natalie has done it. I think we were talking, I said 16, she says 13, but she's been very, very successful. She has a company called Let Us Cook. Natalie, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
How is everything going?
Great, everything's good.
Today's
good.
Good. Natalie is the co-owner of Let Us Cook.
I am.
With her chef husband, Todd Brown. And she's been doing that for 13 years. Tell us a little bit about what you all do.
Well, currently, we started with catering only, and we moved up to Let Us Cook in May of 2016. And we're kind of all over the map. We do, we're a dine-in or dine-out deli, and we have a section that's designated to all grab-and-go, gourmet. We have vegan options, we have meat options. We're all over the map, so we can really accommodate just about any diet.
So y'all been very successful. Let's kind of cut to the chase. What are the biggest challenges about going into business with your spouse or significant other?
Communication. It's all about I don't practice what I preach, but I'll preach it. Don't communicate in passing. For example, if you're busy, don't just run by and say something that's important, because you basically take time to communicate one-on-one.
Great. So would you, because everyone kind of has that dream, and I was kind of thinking about you and I was thinking about this little couple, that little Crepe that used to work at Alcon, and a lot of people have the dream of kind of going into business with their significant other, but it's hard, isn't it?
It's very hard. It's very hard, and it's all about not overcommitting in terms of, especially right now, we're busy with catering and biting off more than you can chew. I made the mistake of doing that last season, and you need to make sure that you have quality time and not focus on the quantity of business you're getting during that time, because it just kind of kills your spirit and it kills the mood. So it's all about balance, and don't overcommit and make it work, keep everyone happy, and that's my advice.
Right.
And I am going to follow it this year.
Right, because you also have a small child,
yes.
And when you do it, you work 6 days a week, and
mostly 7.
7 days a week. So how do you, and you're married to a right brain creative who has lots of cool ideas, but you're the one that then has to go implement those ideas, right?
Right. It's one day at a time and one idea at a time. Again, it goes back to balance.
So what advice would you give to someone that says, okay, I want to start, Because you're kind of a behind the scenes, even getting you here today with the challenge, right?
It was, but I'm here.
That's right, you're here. And let's meet the River District, because there's all these cool things going on. Now.
Yes.
There are
Yes.
lots of cool things going on. But going back to those other people, would you encourage someone to go in business with their spouse?
Absolutely, I would. But you just have to, get ready. It's going to be hard, and only time makes. I mean, by this time next year, I'll probably be giving you different answers. So it's really, you have to get into a groove, and I think after a year, we're finally somewhat getting into a groove. And again, it goes back to just balance and overcommitment.
Great. So we're talking with Natalie about balance, commitment, kind of finding that. I think the main thing that she's really talking about is communication. That you've got to be willing to kind of communicate with your significant other. That you've got to be able to talk up front. That it is going to be a challenge. That they've been very, very successful. They've been covered by every publication in the city, but it didn't happen overnight.
No.
They've been doing it a long time, and now they actually have a storefront that they're doing it by. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on. Let's meet the River District, if you will, because there's all these cool things going on the River District, and I think it starts with Abulio.
Right. He actually, that's the starting point.
Yeah, he's got that going on, and Bill
Yes.
Bosterman with Flowers on the Square, and then Home to Garden, Mark Criswell.
Yeah, he's in that area.
Salsa Limon.
Yes.
So why don't we start?
We've got Alon, the luxury apartments that are awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a work in progress, and I think the River District's getting there. It's
Great place to
Yeah.
come to the Lettuce Cook, grab a sandwich.
absolutely
Go-
take dinner home, take dinner to a friend, have a party catered.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, go for a walk down on the river.
Yes.
You know, there's just so many things to go and do down there.
There's so, I mean, this is just the beginning too. We're not, the plans are amazing. If you go and visit the River District website, you can check out everything that those guys are doing.
Yeah, and we can't forget Jimmy Jenkins,
Oh, Jimmy
Art.
Jenkins. Our mural is
the
amazing.
monkeys.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are known for our monkeys.
So let's talk a
Huge
little bit about the
tourist
monkeys.
spot. Yes. Okay.
Well, I mean, they've kind of become infamous, haven't
They have. We have people every day posing in front of the monkeys. Jimmy.
So tell us what the monkeys are. They're art on the
Right.
side of your building, and there are 3 monkeys that
right.
were
Hear
drawn.
no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. Is that right?
Right?
Yeah. So anyway, but we incorporated food. Jimmy Jenkins is the artist, and he and Todd kind of came up with different ideas, and this is where we are with the monkeys, and they were absolutely amazing and a huge attention grabber.
Yeah, and he also drew a butterfly mural.
He did. That's more of a installation that's on the side of Pearl Snap Kalachi, the building.
Yeah.
So,
So you need to make it down to the River District to see Natalie
and the monkeys.
and the monkeys and all the cool things going on in the River District,
Yes.
because I think it's one of those new areas that's booming. And I also think that Natalie is very approachable, but she can also talk to you about being a woman entrepreneur, because I think it is one of those challenges that is, but she's kind of one of those behind the scenes people. She's not someone that sits on a lot of forums. She's not someone that writes a lot of articles or talks a lot about it. But at the same time, she's someone that gets a lot of press. You've been very blessed with.
We have, and my main job is the social media, and I've been lucky. It kind of comes naturally, and we do fun commercials, and we don't take ourselves seriously. Honestly, and I think that's the most fun part. So,
okay, so where can we find you?
Social media, Instagram.
Okay, Instagram. What's your handle?
At Lettuce Cook Gourmet.
Okay, Lettuce Cook Gourmet. And where can I find you on Facebook?
Lettuce Cook Gourmet.
Lettuce Cook Gourmet.
Yeah. So.
And I'm trying to get her on
I know,
LinkedIn,
I
but
know.
we're getting there.
We're getting there. Yeah. I'll do it.
And are you on LinkedIn? So Instagram and Facebook
Yeah.
are your main channels
Yes.
that we can find you. So we're thrilled to find you. She also has a rock star chef in the making. Wells?
No. No.
He's not going to be in it.
I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
He's
No,
not. He's a character.
No.
And then let's talk about the. What do you have? You've got a lot of. So she's all about cultivating business. Also, she's a real cultivator of business. They've got a lot of good things going on during the holiday season, and they do a really good job. What I love about what they do with their offerings is they use Instagram to show their offerings on a daily basis.
Yes, absolutely.
So they have a blue plate special, and they show you that and kind of tease you to get you excited.
Right.
So they use social media as a way to kind of cultivate that, and they do a great job of everything they're doing. So
Thanks.
thrilled that you're here,
Thanks for having me.
and look forward to seeing you again.
Great.
And please don't post the chicken fried steak.
Wow.
Great, thanks for being here, and make it down to Meet the River District. Alrighty?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Great stuff. Alrighty, I'm Chris Quinn, and God, I love that. But I got to stay away from their sweets. They've got really good chocolate chip cookies with pecans. Everything down there is awesome. Chef Todd Brown. All right, now it is time for Dr. Raquel Fisher. And we're going to talk about cyber. We're going to talk about security, because I think it's that time of year where, I have my phone out all the time. I meant to bring it out now where I could talk to her about it. But she's doing a fantastic job of kind of bringing that to the forefront. And she's got a number of things lined up this next month. Dr. Fisher, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Terrific. Now don't go soft on me. I just heard you kind of go soft like you're doing.
Okay, I'm louder now.
Terrific. She is a founder and CEO of the Ida C. Boulay.
Charles Ada and Charles Bowley.
I need to go to the Hooks on Fox. Okay, tell me about that. That is your firm that you founded?
Yes, Charles Ada and Charles Bowley is a cybersecurity firm. We specialize in information technology. We specialize in global security and protecting everyday common folk.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing it for about 5 or 6 years now.
Great. And where do you see cyber going today? What we're really talking about, and one of our conversations today is kind of centered around mobile.
Right.
Because that whole mobile issue has become at the forefront, and more people
Yes.
are. I talked about the fact that my phone crashed and it was the
Right.
nightmare. So let's talk a little bit about that and the challenge that you see.
Mobile data is one of the hot topics in 2017, 2018 coming up. And especially for the holidays, we need to understand what's being synced through our mobile data and what's going on with our mobile data. And common citizens don't know, or do they understand? I don't even know if they care. But if they begin to understand the dangers of having their mobile data unsecured, then they'll start to see the functionality and how to secure it. But first, we need to allow people to understand that there is a problem.
Right, and I think the thing is that what we talked about is that, and one of the reasons I want to have you on the show is that so often when we think about cyber, we think about big corporations.
Right,
we don't really think
correct.
about small business.
Right.
Right.
Right. So there's a twofold. There are cyber attacks with big corporations where there's like a smash and grab. In the 1980s TV shows, you'll see where someone throws a rock in and steals the TVs out of the pawn shop and run. Those are corporations having smash and grab jobs. But what seems to be happening now is that smash and grab jobs are happening with everyday citizens. People will come in and steal your data by the masses. Once it's gone, it's gone, it's out there. And so that's what we want to help protect people from.
Why do you think people, because I protect myself on my desktop,
Okay.
but I don't think about protecting myself on my...
Mobile phone.
Right.
Yeah, or cell phone. Well, the problem is that you do so much with your mobile phone. You pick it up, you put it down, and you don't understand how much data it collects. It collects data through your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your Facebook. It doesn't protect data in the way that you would stay protected with your desktop. This is a whole different world. This particular function is 100% different.
So how do obviously there are apps I can put on my phone.
Okay, so let's talk about the security function. So you purchase a phone from Metro PCS. You buy this phone, and after you purchase the phone, you open it up, you plug it in, and you use it. The first thing you start doing is putting apps on, right? Wrong. The first thing you need to do is upload some kind of security system or some security package. That takes almost 24 hours to have that package installed and uploaded. And people say, well, AT&T and Verizon offers a system of security for my phone. They do. AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, they offer security for your phone to protect the company. So now there's no data that's going through their phone that's going to hack their system, but what about the data coming through the phone that's going to hack you as a system? There is nothing on that phone that protects you as an entity. So it is up to you to download an app, a system, some software package that protects you. Most people don't do that. That's the first thing you need to do. And that takes about 24 hours to install.
I guess we don't really think about it until it becomes an issue, do we?
Well, you know what? The only time it becomes an issue is when you find out what hackers do with the data. You don't know when you're hacked. If someone says, hey, you've been hacked, your information has just been stolen and penetrated, the first thing you say is, who did it? When did they do it? Where did they do it? Where was I? Did I have my phone? Is my phone here? Those are questions that cannot be answered unless you have system protections on your phone before the hack. And that's what we do. We teach common individual folk, how to protect themselves in that way.
Fantastic. Now, you have a workshop coming up here in Fort Worth, right?
We do. We will be at a vendor fair at TCC South Campus on November 10th.
Okay.
And it's brought to you by Fort Worth Business Center.
Oh, great. Good. And tell me what that's all about.
Well, we'll be there as a vendor. We'll be set up. You'll see we have a little commercial going. Our software packages will be there. We have some other events that we'll be advertising, but most often we want you to sign up for our newsletters, and we want you to sign up to have a free consultation so that we can show you on your data, on your mobile phone, two things. Number one, how easy it is for you to be hacked. And number two, how to protect yourself.
How easy it is for me to be hacked. Well,
it's easy. You have 28 seconds, I can hack it.
That's encouraging, Dr. Fisher. I can't wait to come out and see how easy it is for me to be hacked. Great stuff. Okay, so where can I know I'm seeing more and more of you. Saw you at the Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce event with our good friend, and he'll be great for this plug, Jim Austin.
Yes.
Of Jim Austin Online. And great event. So where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter.
What's your handle on Twitter?
At Quality Files.
Okay, Quality Files.
And then LinkedIn.
Of course.
Dr. Raquel Fisher, Fisher. Or you can Google search the very long name, Charles Atta and CharlesBowley.com.
Okay. Okay. And then are you on Facebook?
I am on Facebook. It's the same thing, Charles Atta and Charles Bowley. It comes right up. Or Dr. Fisher. I come up. Okay. You'll see my T.
Great. And what's the takeaway today?
The takeaway today is two things. Number one, you can be penetrated and hacked. And number two, when it happens, you won't know it.
Dr. Fisher, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
And I look forward to protecting myself. I look forward to learning more.
Okay. Great. I hope to see you soon.
Okay, good. Hey, great show today, and it's always great to learn from these different entrepreneurs and kind of figure out what's going on, because things are constantly changing. It's a constant changing field each and every week, and I appreciate you turning into Inside Fort Worth Business. We've got a great show. It was a great show, and we've got a great show lined up for you next week and each and every week on Inside Fort Worth Business, where we're focusing on sole proprietors, we're focusing on entrepreneurs, we're focusing on small businesses every week at 12 noon here on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. And you can be here for great stories, and that's what I'm trying to do. We're all about cultivating business and telling these stories. So how can you help? You can share our content, you can follow us, and you can friend us. That's how you can help us. And we appreciate you being here. We appreciate your help, and I look forward to seeing you here each and every week on Inside Fort Worth Business. I'm your host, Chris Quinn. Thanks for being here.
Okay. About 15 seconds short of 30.
Short?
Yes. I was trying to signal you to keep rolling. We had like 30 seconds and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like 30, keep rolling.
On which, on the YouTube or the
Both.
Facebook?
Yeah. We ended at about